everybody, it's your girl Jess with Next Home Treasure Coast, and I am back with another edition of Translation Tuesday. Today, I'm translating the word offer. An offer is what a potential buyer makes when they have found a property that they want to purchase. It is the first official communication between buyer and seller. But an offer isn't just what a buyer wants to pay for a property. It's also about what the buyer can do or give to the seller that will make them a more viable option over another buyer. For example, a buyer has decided to buy a property, and I'm going to name this property 456 New Home Lane, and it is listed for $250,000. The buyer visited this home and or examined it in a virtual tour, looked at its condition, consulted with their realtor, and have compared its price, condition, and upgrades to other similarly sized homes in the area. Since the property is in line with other properties in condition and price, the buyer tells their realtor that they would like to make a full price offer, but they want a 10-day inspection period. And they also asked for X% seller concessions for closing costs. And they want to close in 45 days due to the closing date on their own home. So essentially, their offer is half of a live contract. They are saying that they will pay this price, but it is contingent on XYZ being met. After they have made their offer, they would then wait to hear back from the seller. And the seller is going to accept, reject, or counter the offer. If the seller accepts the offer, they will sign the contract, and they are now in the home stretch of buying the home. This is the exciting part, right? It is up to them now to meet all requirements stipulated in their contract. Often, though, a seller will counter an offer. Remember, this is business, it's not personal. The seller is trying to sell their property for the most amount of money possible, and buyers essentially want to buy a home for the least amount of money possible. Everyone loves a deal, so the seller may want to negotiate one or more terms in the offer. The buyer can now accept, reject, or counter the seller. This can go back and forth until all parties have accepted the terms. Once the buyer and the seller have reached an agreement that results in all parties signing the contract, the buyer can move forward in the home buying process. Sometimes, though, an offer is outright rejected for whatever reason. The buyer and their realtor can craft a new offer with similar or completely different contingencies. Maybe the seller needs to close sooner, maybe shorten the inspection period, maybe ask for different seller concessions or request repairs in lieu of closing costs, etc. Everyone's situation is different, and you never know what will appeal or speak to someone's needs and or their circumstances. The buyer can even choose to walk away in search of a different property that better suits their timeline or financial needs. As always, nearly everything in the buying and selling process is negotiable. Just remember that when the offer becomes an executed contract, meaning all parties have signed and agreed to all terms, everyone must meet the dates and stipulations agreed to within the contract, as the contract is a legally binding document. Thanks so much, guys, for spending a few minutes with me today. If you have been enjoying Translation Tuesday, give me a like and a subscribe. See you next week.